Schwartz here, guitarjams.com. Basically, I was just playing two real common blues chords, but then I changed them to fancier voicings. So basically, they're like secret weapon chords I'm going to give you right now. Is really just like a C dominant chord to an F dominant chord. You can see it in blues, R&B, soul, and they sound great. Much more sophisticated sound, and you can kind of squeeze, you can sneak them in instead of some of those 9 chords and 7 chords that you probably play all the time, like a standard C7 bar chord. This is a more interesting way to play those kind of blues chords. So I'm going to show it to you. Real quick, I'm almost at 50,000 Facebook friends on my Guitar Jams Facebook page. So I'd love it for you to go over there and maybe click like, and then also people interact on there and help each other out, and it's a nice little community. Alright, here we go. Alright, I tried to keep the progression itself real easy, just C dominant or C7 to an F dominant or F7. So C7 to F7, and that's in blues. And so instead of this F7 shape, a lot of times guys will play the F9 instead. So you could have, that's a favorite chord of mine. But I'm going to give you 2 ways to play these same chords, and it just adds more choices. Okay, so instead of this C bar chords or C7 chord, we still kind of want to know where this is or visualize it to plug in this new fancy chord, which is really a C9 is what we're going to call it. So you can visualize that the root's there. And here's the chord though. Look at that. Totally weird looking. Especially for a... But this chord is kind of like an upper register chord, so I'm not playing the bass note even in the chord, which is a really nice thing to do as a guitar player, especially in a band, because the bass player's job is to hold that root down. So here's what we would do. We'd visualize the root, and then we'd put our ring finger on that same fret, but on the D string. And then we'd take our middle finger and go a half step lower on the G string. So right now we've got 8, 7. Then this is weird. You kind of have to be comfortable with chords a little bit. We're going to get our index finger onto the 5th fret of the B. You can see it's the 5th fret right there. Last, we're going to put our pinky on that same fret as our ring finger, but on the high E. So you can play that anytime instead of... And another cool thing about it is your index finger can go up a half step and you get this suspended 4th sound. So if that's C, let's say I wanted to do what's called the 4 chord, which would be F7. Well, F is right there. I could just keep this shape and go to that for the F, so check it out. Then I could go to the G, which is right there, and play that same voicing. Okay, so this is the new 9-chord voicing without a root. Okay, and if you're curious as an intermediate player, you know about intervals. You've got the 7th tone, the 9, the 3rd, the major 3rd right there, and then the root on top. So you can do a thing like that too if you wanted, but this is the chord, this is the fancy one. Okay, now let me show you another way to play that same kind of chord, but we're going to do it like I was doing in the intro, and we're going to play it as an F7 chord. So let's look at this here. The root is on the A string for this voicing. So for the F7 chord or F9 chord, we're on the 8th fret of the A is the root, but once again we're not going to play that root. We're just using that to know where to plug this chord in. Okay? So if the root's right here, then I'm going to take my middle finger and put it a half step lower on the D string. So we got that. Then we've got the 8th fret on the G. Just remember the root's right here. Index finger is going to go on the 6th fret of the B. Then pinky goes to the 8th fret of the high E, and you get this. Oops. So that's an F7 chord right now with no root. So where would this voicing be if we wanted to play it as C7? Well, I already told you that this voicing is based off the A root. And I like to visualize my roots. So if we wanted to play this voicing, right now it's an F7 because of the location. If I wanted to turn it to a C7, find C on the A string and plug that same voicing in. So, like I did with that other voicing, you play an entire blues with this shape. So now I was just kind of showing you how to add that in with the other chords that I already know. And all I was doing was C7, F7, and G7, the 1, 4, 5 of a blues. But using those two new voicings, you can really add flavor. And you can even, I'll just put this down, do, these are great, like, like little Travis picking kind of chord. So forth and so on. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed it. You can use those chords for your own evil deeds. Also, I've got that Facebook page. I'd love it if you went over there and clicked like. I'm almost at 50,000. It'd be great to get there. Anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you in another lesson.